Lewis Hamilton, obviously, this is the last year of him at Mercedes, and this is not what the video is about. But I want to have a look at the career of a guy that is going into year 18 and has been at the top for a long time. So I want to look at his 5 best rivals. I'm going to rank them from 5th to 1st, and I give my reasons why. And I want to know, comment down below, do you agree? Where did I go wrong? Did I miss anything? It's a short one, obviously. I'm going to look into rivalries in particular and do full videos on it. I'm also going to do like season recaps looking back at 2008 or even going back to 2004, 3, anything like that. I'm breaking down the best parts. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and let's get into the list. Now, number 5. Going to start off with the one that kind of really didn't put him on the map, but obviously world title number 1. Number 5, Felipe Massa. And now this one here, there was a lot of going back and forth. It got very heated, and I mean, it's still going on to this day. This was obviously the main points to talk about, really, were obviously the continuous fight, how close it was, and then the last race of the season. Massa thought he had it all won. He thought he had it all under control. He won the race. That was it. There was ebbs and flows. The final race was one of the best final races I think we've ever seen. Until maybe a few years later. Again, Hamilton involved again. But in terms of that point, it was just an unbelievable race. It was a strange day. It was actually my birthday, believe it or not. So it was a bit of a stressful time as a Hamilton fan. But you look at it, and then it was that race where it was the moment. It was Hamilton, do or die. It's now or never. And I think that became a theme of Hamilton's career for a long time. And I think, obviously, last lap, he had to get that final spot. Glock slow on the corner. Obviously, he just recently lost it to Vettel. Glock slow on the corner. The question of, is that Glock? You then realise the celebrations for Massa, they're going wild. And then obviously his dad realising, the mechanic in the background, hitting the board, everything going there. Then obviously falling to Massa, obviously in tears. And you feel for him there as well. But obviously, 15 years later, he's still going through court for a lot of stuff as well. Whether it's right, wrong, topic for another day. Massa was his 5th. And I think it all kind of fizzled off a little bit. There was a little bit of personal feeling, but I feel like that came from racing and stuff like that, but never really kind of materialized to anything further. Number 4, Alonso. And now, this one's the weird one because it's kind of spanned across years, but now it's kind of, it's not even about racing. 2007, Hamilton turns up. Alonso turns up to McLaren. He's now 2-time back-to-back world champion, leaving Renault. You think he's got it all in the bag. He's going there. They even give him a rookie driver. You get to just be the alpha, be the guy, do what you want. Hamilton had other plans. The first race, the first lap, the first corner, he decides, I'm showing you what I'm here to do. I'm showing you that no matter what you do this season, I'm prepared to take the fight to you. Obviously, they're battling out the whole time. Alonso's trying to alpha him. Obviously, they have a certain incident. Alonso isn't happy about something. They have an incident in qualifying. Obviously, you have Spygate. You have all this other stuff. Obviously, they just continue battling. And at the end, Hamilton kind of throws it away. He should have been first year, first title scenario. I think he got involved in the battle too much. It got to him. And I think that was kind of a changing point in Hamilton. He was very raw then. His speed was just undeniable. You're going to keep up with a 2-time world champion. You're going to then see how kind of undeniable this pace is. And I think looking at him, he did a good job, but he wasn't a finished article. And I think him and Alonso in their primes battling it out, you can't help but think Hamilton would have got the better. And when they were battling, Hamilton kind of was getting the better a lot. Obviously, Alonso had the seasons where he was challenging Vettel in that era, but that was just a Red Bull domination era, so it kind of a weird one. And obviously, Hamilton went to Mercedes and then never really looked back in terms of the Alonso effect. But every time they're close together on track, it feels heated, it feels serious. And you just know Alonso's not letting him pass no matter how fast your car is, and you get that feeling of vice versa. I feel like it's very heavy Alonso's side. Obviously, people call him bitter and whatever as well. You would be. You went in there with an idea of being the guy, and some kid turns up and wipes a smug look off your face. No matter whether you're right or wrong, you're going to feel a certain type of way. Now, number 3. And I struggle with the top 3, but I give my reasons, so don't bite my head off. Verstappen is number 3. It was really a 1-year battle. A proper 1-year battle, and honestly, what a season. Hamilton on top, then Verstappen, then Hamilton, and then Verstappen pulls away, and then Hamilton. The reason it is number 3 is it unlocked something in Hamilton, even though it's only 1 season, it unlocked something in Hamilton which truly changed him. This took Hamilton to a whole different level. That surge he made at the end, and listen, they felt like every time they were on track together, someone was going to crash. They were going to collide. They were destined to be next to each other. They were destined to battle it out. And this is what you want in a championship. Race after race, they're constantly near each other. Obviously, Hamilton's potential at fault for the incident in Britain, but you start looking at other races. The Saudi incident, for the love of God, even the first corner going into it like that, Hamilton not getting by there, and Verstappen trying his tricks. Verstappen trying tricks on the restart. When you go into obviously the final race itself, obviously Perez was joining in. I don't know what Bottas was doing that year. This is why Bottas not even on the list. I don't even know what you were doing that year. What kind of teammate were you? But when you look at it, Hamilton was taking a fight to the two Red Bulls who are working in unison as well, and Verstappen was a worthy opponent, and he was a worthy winner of the title if he would have won it in fair circumstances, which aren't his fault. It's a fault down to the FIA's decision making and stuff as well, which took it from Hamilton, but he rightfully again should have another world title. We should really be talking about a 9-time world champion. Red Bull also failed the car that year. Just saying, they went over that budget cap. Maybe not fair. But when you look at them themselves, I think the battles throughout the year, the intensity, the way that it got to a point where they both will put in situations where they're not usually, well, Hamilton in particular, not usually that rash. Hamilton was very, not scared, but tentative around Verstappen. He knew Verstappen was prepared to throw it all away. Verstappen was prepared to throw it into a corner. If we don't make it, then not. Or a la Senna. I'm happy for us both to go out and we'll deal with it. I'll get out of the car and world champion will smile. So I think Hamilton handled it well, but it took him to another level. And he got to that beast mode hammer time Hamilton all the time, and he really just felt unstoppable during that period. So I think for that alone, he has to be one of Hamilton's best rivals ever. Number 2, Vettel. And now this one, whoa, I don't even know where to start when it comes to this one. This one, the reason it gets it is because it was so personal and so competitive. They became friends. Do you know how serious something has to be where you're battling toe-to-toe with somebody and you become friends? And now listen, did Ferrari cheat one year? Yes, they did. They paid a big fine, whatever. We never found out what it was. But one year, all of a sudden, Ferrari turned up with a car that was pretty much faster on the straight and faster in the corners. Obviously, previous years, obviously the Ferrari was very good in traffic. Mercedes weren't. Obviously, years of this battle has had Vettel very fast in the corners and obviously relatively quick on the straights. Obviously, then the vice versa for Mercedes, where Mercedes was pretty decent in the corners. They weren't particularly great, as I said, weren't great in traffic, but also were very fast on the straight now as well. Has a balance, has an aspect to it, different races, different tracks, felt competitive. And now, obviously, Hamilton comes out on top, and obviously they have the year where they're both 4-time world champions. This felt about legacy. It felt high stakes. It felt like this isn't just a year one becomes a champion. It felt like I'm battling to take your legacy of 4 titles in a row away from you, and I'm battling a legacy to get not only a title back but to stop you overtaking me in titles. This was massive. This was all about the peak of it. This was at the top, and obviously Vettel as a German was trying to slow down one guy getting towards 7 whilst also trying to get there himself. It felt massive. And obviously we had incidents obviously in Canada, we had incidents in Azerbaijan. We had incidents all over the place with these two. It had everything, this rivalry, just raw speed and impressive drives, to comeback races, to ups and downs in a title race, to having serious dramatic moments between the two, and it ends with a fairy tale ending of them shaking hands and being friends. That's just a proper rivalry, and that's why it takes to place as number 2. It elevated Hamilton to a whole different stratosphere and there as well. And that kind of takes me the last 2 points on to number 1. I think you know who it is. Yes, you do. Bottas now. Rosberg. He had to be number 1. He had to be the guy. He was the guy that unlocked the demon, you would call it, out of Lewis Hamilton. Obviously, childhood rivals. Take it into F1, but they were friends. It was close. We're in this together to rise Mercedes, until they were both aware going into the season, all right, now it is just me and you again. And we started in 2014 with an absolute battle in Bahrain, and they're fighting it out. They're going back and forth. You never know where it's going to go. But they found that ground, and they found it, and it just increased intensity-wise. Obviously, we've seen tricks and certain stuff. Just Rosberg not even turning in Austria, decided, no, I'm not even going to do it, to them colliding in Spain, wherever you want to go with it. Toto fuming. I wouldn't want to be Toto in that period of time. He must have been pulling his hair out. But that's it. When you look at a rivalry, that was at the height. That was the heat of it. And that's the difference in Hamilton's career. If Hamilton loses that battle, he's not a world champion to 7 times. He is maybe a 4-time or a 3-time, if not fading away a little bit as well. Obviously, Rosberg got his title and left. He knew it took so much out of him to beat the guy. But it was there, and obviously that season was an absolutely horrific season. If you're a Hamilton fan, it was not a fun season to watch. And I think all in all, did I enjoy it? Probably not. I saw a lot of ups and downs throughout that season. There was a lot of shady tactics. Obviously, we spoke about the crashes, all that other stuff. And I think all in all, Hamilton and Rosberg, they claims that there's actually a little bit closer again now as well, but they were childhood friends and they were rivals and they were destined to be against each other. That is just any way to look at it. And I think all in all, he has to take that spot as a number one. He forced Hamilton to be the guy and be the ultimate one as well. So for that reason, he takes the number one spot. Have I missed anybody? Am I missing anything? Have I missed any serious points? Comment down below, let me know. Who do you think Hamilton's best rival is? Do you think I've got it wrong? Show me your list. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.